Hello everyone, I'm the Peculiar Pisces and welcome to my channel. Today is Monday, April 8th, 2024, and this is Flosstube video number 13. I had to look because I kind of forgot a little bit. I'm going to start off today with a pass finish, and this one's going to be a little bit different because I don't have this one in my hands anymore. I made this one for my BFF for Christmas. I started it. Oh, I didn't write it down. I know I put it in the video. So I've mentioned before, I take daily photos after every stitching session that I do. When I'm stitching, I have this problem where I'm just so focused on the little bit that I am, or the color that I am, or just, that 10 by 10 square, or, just that section that I'm not seeing like the bigger picture. And as I'm stitching, I'm like, I've been stitching for hours and it doesn't look like I've done anything. And that gets disheartening to me. So when I take daily photos after every stitch session, then I can compare between the previous days and then that one. And I can go, oh, yeah, I do see the difference in what I did. Or I can take a look at the pictures at the beginning of the week versus at the end of the week. And then it's like, oh, yeah, now I get it. So sometime after Lots of Heart Elephant and after those three quick little ones, I started taking daily pictures. And I believe I started this September 18th. And so I just took daily photos and I sent it to my BFF. I didn't tell her that it was for her, but I sent the pictures to her because I know that she loves mountains. And this was a picture of mountains. This was a loops and threads kit called the Steps, and I purchased it from Michael's. It was 14 count aida, which is pretty typical of a kit, and then the threads. I'm assuming the loops and threads brand. I did run out of, there were sorry about that. My BFF walked in just as I was talking about her. Anyway, so like I send her daily photos of my stitches to sort of keep me on track. I believe that I started this September 18th, and then if it wasn't the 18th, it was the 19th. And then I finished this October 24th. I did run out of one of the browns in the kit. I can't remember right now if it was the very dark brown or the dark brown. But I ran out of it, and then so what I ended up doing was substituting a DMC thread that I had on hand. It did not match either browns. It was like right in between the two browns that they gave in the kit. So I was like, it's like 15 stitches. Nobody is ever going to know. And so I worked and I finished it. And then once I finished it this way, I ended up wrapping some ribbon around the edge of the frame and sort of hot gluing a bow in place. And I chose one of the really light purples that were inside the sky because everything else just used so much, and this one purple was just used this one time. So I used that color purple to bring it out. So that was a past finish that I'm not physically showing you, but hopefully the video was able to overlay over top of me as I was speaking. So I'm going to start off today with project number 1, which is a favorite designer project. I do have 3 favorite designers, and I just started with the one whose patterns I had the most of on hand. It's Teresa Wentzler, and the pattern that I'm doing is this one right here, which is the Castle, and it's from the Best of Teresa Wentzler Fantasy Collection. And it is this one right here. I am doing it on 16 count hand-dyed fabric that I dyed myself. And this is my progress for this week. It's 2/1. Let me see. Down here. Try to hold it over here so that when I show the picture. So I really finished bringing the rocks in and working on the tail and then working down and bringing it down in here. So this is 16 count, hand dyed, 2/1 with the called for DMC, The Castle by Teresa Wentzler from the Best of Teresa Wentzler Fantasy Collection, Volume 1. There are 2 volumes. Volume 2 is so hard to get a hold of. There's one on Amazon listed for like $250, and I, for one, do not have the money for that. I do have some stitching mail that will be coming this week, so hopefully if I do a video next week, I'll be able to show you some new things that I got. I do have a Teresa Wentzler pattern that I purchased off of Mercari that's coming. I actually have 2, but they were bought at different times. One should be getting here today, and the other one next week sometime. And then I also bought a DVD off of 123 Stitch that is just Cross Stitch Magazine 1991 to 2000. So I can't wait to get that and take a look at it and see exactly what Teresa Wentzler's are on that, because that might end up completing my collection. I don't know. This one I did 13 hours, 11 minutes, and 24 seconds this week, bringing my total for this project up to 105 hours, 49 minutes, and 56 seconds. So lots of time. I just have the rocks and the tail and a little bit of water edging. So the way that this design is sort of open in through here, I'm probably going to put my initials and the date either here or like in where the tail is right here. Probably on this side. I usually do it in the bottom right hand corner, but sometimes depending on the design, if I sign it, like I've hidden them in amongst like a space like this before. So like almost done with this quarter, this section. I am having surgery this week, so I don't know how much stitching will get done after tomorrow. Give me just one moment. Okay, the dog was in the backyard and she knocked on the sliding glass door to tell me that she was ready to come in, so I had to let her in. Project number 2 is a Blackwork or a sampler piece, and this one in particular is a Blackwork piece. It is Practical Blackwork is the designer off of Etsy, and the pattern is called Pentecost. And as you can see, I managed to get a big water drop right on this front page. I'm gonna have to see if I can reprint this for next week, but the smaller version shows the image much better. This is what the total design looks like. So I am, hold on, this way. I keep getting myself confused as to which way to hold it since it's the same way every way around. So I believe the last time showed you, I needed to finish the middle parts of these diamondy bits. And then I worked on the leaves, the vines. And so I just have this the rest of this cross. Let me move that out of the way. The rest of this cross to finish for this section, and then this page will be done. And full picture of where we are on the progress. So this is 18 count aida that I hand dyed, 1/1 for this one. And I put in 2 hours, 29 minutes this week, bringing my total for this project up to 61 hours, 42 minutes, and 32 seconds. And project 3 is my wish list project. It is from Heaven and Earth Designs. It is called Fae Risque by Amy Brown, and this particular one is the no background version, which just means that I'm stitching the fairy as opposed to the blacks and the creams and the grays and whatever all colors are in there. I am doing a color conversion that I've done myself. This is the picture that I printed out of Pattern Keeper. And then this one, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. There. That's probably much easier. This is my whole stand. It's a huge stand that goes in my living room and just sits at my couch in the living room. So this is 22 count, 2/1. And for me personally, 2/1 on 22 count is like my limit. I'm not going to do 2/25 count. That would be kind of hard to put the needle through and a little insane, in my opinion. But this is my first time parking. This is my first time using Pattern Keeper. This is my first Heaven and Earth Designs. And this is my first color conversion. So again, 22 count, 2/1 on hand-dyed fabric. This one I put in 3 hours, 55 minutes, and 30 seconds on this project for last week, bringing my total up to 91 hours, 46 minutes, and 17 seconds working on this. So this is page 10, this was page 9, and then this one that I'm working on bringing the wings up is page 5. Okay, and then project number 4 is my Stashbuster piece. This is something that I've had in my stash for forever, for eons. And it is a Plaid Bucilla kit. The designer is Donna Dewberry. The pattern is called Hummingbird and Floral. I did not use the provided aida. I purchased some Charles Craft from Michael's, I believe, and I hand dyed it 2 colors of blue to sort of look like the sky. So if I remember, last week I had just finished the flower, and I think I maybe had a little bit of the green done. So I finished filling in. The lighting is just not great right now. The sun must be behind some clouds because it looks washed out. But I filled in the greens and the light greens and the tans and it's 2 shades of green, the blend along the edge here. And like I think I just have a few more stitches here. And then I have a few more stitches in the flower here, and then a couple over here that sort of transition into another thing. There's going to be a couple more flowers or petals here, and then like a different type of flower that's along this edge, and then it's going to go into a second one of these pink roses. So that's kind of the direction I'm going. I'm heading this way to finish out this bottom portion, and then I'll probably swing back up to do this section and then finish with the hummingbird that's right about there. So this one, I feel like I actually got quite a bit of work on it. I got to work on it each day, and 2 of the days I got to work on it for almost an hour, and then I got a little bit of extra in when I took the dog to the vet to get her yearly shots. But this one I put in 2 hours, 56 minutes, and 2 seconds this week. And it's brought my total for this project to 30 hours, 11 minutes, and 7 seconds. So each one is progressing along, and I'm really, really happy with how they're coming along. As I said, I'm having surgery on Wednesday. Still don't know the time. They're going to call me tomorrow and let me know the time. So today and tomorrow, I'll get some stitching in. Wednesday, probably not. Now, they did say that they're just going to have me in like a brace where I can't move my wrist, but my fingers will be free. I might be able to get some stitching in. I have no idea. When I had my hand surgery in October, because I had carpal tunnel and cubital tunnel done, I was able to stitch when it was wrapped, but then when I unwrapped my hand the second weekend before the stitches came out, I started having nightmares of the thread getting caught on the stitches, and just I couldn't do it. So like for 2-3 weeks, all the way up until I had the appointment to get the stitches out, I didn't do any stitching, just because for my peace of mind, those nightmares were just, they were off the charts wild, and I didn't want any of those nightmares to come true. So I don't know what kind of stitches I'm gonna have for this. If it's the disposable stitches that just my body absorbs, then I probably won't have a problem. But if it's the black thready looking stitches, I'm not gonna put thread near that, just because I get terrible nightmares about it. So I would have a little bit of progress to show for the couple that I'll work on today and tomorrow. And then I can show you some stitchy mail. So maybe I will be able to come back next week with a video. Won't be much progress, but I'll be able to come back, show you a past video of my stitchy mail, and if there was any progress. So I will see everyone next week.